Hey, everybody. Guess who this is? Well, I'm in Italy with cousin Louie. We are here in Sorrento, California. No, I'm just kidding. No. We're in Sorrento. As you can see, our new surroundings are beautiful, amazing, and wonderful. But we can't be too loud. So you're going to get a very quiet version of me doing it like Danny. What I can say is, and this is a PSA for all you folks out there that watch the show, because I have been getting a lot of this. Just so you know, the definition of a vlog is a video log, which is a shortened episode, not an episode, not a full episode. Remember that. Welcome to Do It Like Danny, starring Cousin Louie with Cousin Angelo and starring me. Hey everybody, welcome back. As you can see, I'm actually being kind of quiet and kind of timid because here in the lovely area of Sorrento, Italy, we are not allowed to be loud. There are noise ordinances. And Do It Like Danny doesn't have enough money to be paying all of that out. Okay? But what we can say is we're enjoying a lovely libation, which I have not had in a long time, and we're feeling amazing and fantastic. I'd like to welcome back Cousin Louie.
Hello.
For those of you who are wondering where Cousin Angelo is, we don't care. Louie, insert something there about Cousin Angelo. Thank you so much. We're in Italy.
We had to leave him behind. I mean, Park wouldn't show, so what can we do?
It's hard. The show wouldn't pay for it. We submitted it to our executives, and the budget was cut.
Yeah, unfortunately, with tariffs and everything going on, we just don't know what we're capable of doing right now.
Tariffs are hard. They're hard for everybody.
Aye.
But we want to thank all of you. And if you're also listening to the show, we just wanted to remind you that we're also available on YouTube. And the reason why I bring this up is because so many people listen to the show, which is great. We get thousands of listeners, shockingly enough, right? And, you know, our YouTubes are kind of like, wah, 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 only in the 500,000. And so what we would like to do is we would love to boost them to that 1 million mark. In addition, I hear people say to me, oh, you know, the show didn't sound right. Something was off about it. And then I tell them, you have to watch it because there's a lot of sight gags in there.
Yeah. We started off as a podcast. Now we've pretty much transitioned to a YouTube show. I keep up the audio for the listeners. I get it. Some people don't have the time to sit there and watch on YouTube, but we do recommend and prefer that you make the switch. You'll get more out of it. There's more jokes. There's more editing. You can see what I actually do and probably enjoy a little bit more.
But if you're old like Dana, then you probably are still going to listen. So that's pretty much the only reason why we do it.
It's just because she can't listen to it on 1% speed or whatever she does.
But we do love her.
Oh, yeah.
She's been fact-checking us lately, too, by the way.
Well, she needs to be on the show and send those facts so I could insert them. A Dana fact and pop it up.
She should record, Dana, you should record those. You should record them, and then what we'll do is we'll just blur your face out. It's fine, right?
And I'll just put a Dana fact right where it needs to be.
That'd be perfect. That'd be wonderful. So welcome back again to beautiful, delicious Italy. We've been eating pasta. We've been walking the roads. And obviously, as you can see, we've been drinking wine.
We're already losing weight.
Oh, my God. So thin, burning thousands of calories a day. You know, the reason why we're kind of doing this like impromptu show is because we wanted to still continue to bring you quality programming from the Do It Like Danny network.
Hey, that'd be kind of cool, huh? To have a network. Wow. I didn't even think about that.
It's porn. So we wanted to make sure that you had something for your Wednesday and possibly Thursday because we know that 4th of July is coming up.
Yeah.
And I wanted to leave the country. You know, yes, America can be great, but we'll talk more about that later. A lot of people, too, have said, what have you been doing? You know, okay, 3. But I'm just saying, people still ask no matter what, and they wanted to know what I've been doing lately because we just premiered, and right out the gate, it was political.
Yeah,
and
but we started
crazy.
strong, though.
We did.
We did.
It was good. I wish we got a lot of compliments on that episode also, too.
I'm glad.
And there was quite a few. Okay, not just 3.
Yeah.
But quite a few.
It was 4.
We
got another one. I don't care.
We did. And we're nominated for nothing. But listen, that's okay. Honestly, I've been doing so much. I mean, the 6 months that we were off, I was busy. Like, I went to Beyonce. I swam at the pool. I had a crazy near death experience. Well, actually, there was a death experience.
Yeah, you did have a death experience.
We had our gay night at Disneyland.
Yes.
So we have lots to talk about. We have lots to go over. We were gonna do like a regular like topics episode, but we're just gonna talk about me, which is like so great. I love it, and that's why Angelo's not here. Okay,
Get rid of him for the day.
he hates it when I talk about myself.
Last time he has to talk about celebrities.
Yeah.
And Park overall.
Yeah, and they're starting their own network, just so you know. So
Correct.
Angelo and Park. That's probably why he's not here.
It's called Park and Friends.
Oh, there you go. I like that. Park with a K. Oh my God, that's so good. I love like the kids, like the young kids say nowadays.
Yeah.
I love that for you.
I love that for you.
I
Angela.
love that for you.
Cheers to you,
Cheers
your new
to you.
venture.
Cheers to you, Angelo. You and Park on your new venture. Meanwhile, it's human trafficking. I'm just kidding. No, that's horrible. So we're here in the beautiful countryside, and as you can see, it's dark because it's a different time zone. So we wanted to stay on the California time zone, but as you can see, it didn't work out that way. It's dark now. That's okay. We had a lovely dinner al fresco, and we had beautiful chicken, freshly killed. And
I'm not recording.
What?
Just kidding.
Oh my God! Where's Angelo when you need him? Are you sure?
Yes, it's going. I'm just
Mic
messing
check,
with you.
1, 2, 3. Are these recording?
Yes, everything's recording.
Oh my God. Our PAs, we couldn't bring them with us. And our sound people and our lighting, we couldn't bring anybody. Louis had to do everything on his own.
Now you're making me paranoid. Are they recording? Hold on. One second. All right, we're back.
And we were recording. Yeah, if only you
We're
could have
good.
seen me, the cussing that came out of my mouth. Quietly, but it was still cussing.
I'm
nonetheless.
jet lagged. I'm tired.
9 hours. That's it. So everybody's asked me if I'm still keeping up with my pool fun stuff, swimming, and I have been. And I'd like to say hello, Miss Zoe, because Miss Zoe watches the show all the time, or she listens. Miss Zoe, you need to start watching it, not listening to it. I'm pretty sure she watches it, but she's one of the big fans of the pool, and I love going to the pool. And she'll give her, her input. And, she liked the first episode, which was great. A lot of people really like that episode. They like the way that I broke into my own show.
You're welcome.
So
Made you look good.
Whatever. That was my idea.
It was his idea, but I had to make it. And I never done that before. And I don't know how I locked in, but I locked in that night and I just started messing around and I Googled how to do it. You know, it only took me like 10 minutes to do.
Don't tell people your secrets.
All right, my bad.
It took them forever. It took them like hours to figure it out.
14 hours.
I'm such a hard boss. I require so much of you.
So much. He's worse than Trump.
Oh, and on a quick side note, I will say this. So, David, thank you for also fact-checking me. So the story that I told about David and my the relationships and all that, it gets better. So David sends me a message and says, just so you know, you butchered that timeline.
I gotta be quiet. I don't mean to be so loud.
Oh my God, we're totally gonna get the polizzi. The polizzi is gonna come and get us. So oh my God, I laughed so hard.
Yeah.
But David, hello, for the Do It Like Danny network, we had to truncate the story. We had to tell just the juiciest parts of the story. And
Don't worry, David. When you return, you can finish off the story the way you remember it, and then
Yes.
we'll conglomerate both of those and see what comes out of that.
I did the Cliff Notes. That's what I did. I did the Cliff Note version of what transpired in the office that day. And if you have not seen that episode, you need to go back and watch it because it's really good. So we got that feedback. Feedback from Dana is always good, and fact checking here and there and there and go. Darnella has been reaching out also too. She's wanting to come back, but we did like some side polling, market research, and she just didn't rate well. So although we love her to death and we'd love to have her back, America doesn't. So that's kind of harsh, right?
Yeah.
But that's how she would tell it.
Poor Darnella.
But she's here in spirit.
Ironically, right, when we were looking for it at like the beginning of the shows, Where was she? We were always looking for her.
Oh,
Now you want to
I
come
wanted
back.
her so bad, and now that she's taking this sabbatical, she has all this time in the world, and she wants to get together, and she wants to do all these different things, and it's like, I'm busy. We would love to welcome Darnella back to the Do It Like Danny Network. We'd love to have her on the show.
On the after hours.
Yeah, maybe we'll do one of these, but she'd have to be a little like,
Yeah.
you know. I'm not flying her out though. Maybe we'll do like a Santa Barbara
and
version.
this is all you're getting, young lady. That is it. You understand me? Not the bottle.
Oh my God!
It's this.
Somebody said, "Is she always drunk?" And I was
For
like,
the whole show.
No, poor thing. I love her to death. She's such a good friend.
Yeah,
I have a lot of
she's a good
amazing-
time. She's a good time.
I have a lot of amazing friends that have reached out. You know, Ketha is always, you know, supported the show, and her kids. Hopefully, the kids are still watching also too.
You should probably throw a shout out to your friend who always comments on YouTube. I think you went to high school with her.
Terry.
Yes.
Yes, I should. You're right. I don't even mention Terry enough. Terry, you've been so wonderful in providing your feedback and what you responded to on the last episode when I was, you know, not questioning my sexuality, but, you know, the way that I felt. I really appreciated that comment.
Yeah.
And, you know, it changed my mind quite a bit, to be honest. It changed my mind. And I really thought about it. And I thought, you know, maybe I'm being silly and maybe a lot of it's in my head, and it's probably true. A lot of it's in my head. We're always our own worst critic, aren't we?
Yeah. The worst.
Oh yeah, Terry, I love her. She's fantastic.
And who's the friend that you mentioned? She lives in Colorado. You just mentioned her.
Oh, Ketha.
Ketha, right? With the kids?
Yeah, Ketha with all the kids, all four. And they had birthdays. Happy birthday, Joe. Oh my God, they all been having birthdays, all those kids.
Shout out to Ketha because I do apologize. I am not gay. I really am not. I'm sorry. I know it's a letdown for everybody. I'm just a straight Mexican male.
Did they convince you? Did Angelo convince you that you're gay?
She sent me a message. She sent you a message thinking you were going to read it, and I ended up reading it totally by accident. And I don't remember. It said something like, "Oh, did he finally come out?" And I'm like, "I apologize." Or I said something like, "I'm sorry. I'm not gay. I'm straight."
Poor Louie. Angelo was trying to induct him into the Hall of Fame.
So hard.
He tried so hard. That's why we didn't bring him.
Predator like Diddy
He
behavior.
probably would have human trafficked poor Louie. It would be like taken. Be like, good luck. Good luck.
Oh man. Angela's a good time. I miss that guy. Where is he at?
No, we do miss him. We kind of need him. Cheers to you, Angelo. We do miss him.
Yeah.
Thanks to my good friend Linda who made this wine.
Yep. Out here in Sonoma.
Sorrento.
Sonoma.
Sonoma. She's where she made it, but we brought it out here to Italy.
It's so
So
good.
we can enjoy it because it's so good.
Oh,
Although
yeah.
all the wine is delicious here in Sorrento.
Mhm.
And I've been really good by trying not to drink, but how quickly that falls out the window when you cross timelines. Okay, so I have to kind of bring it down a little bit, right?
Okay.
I have to tell everyone the story. So, you know, Do It Like Danny is always in the right place at the wrong time for other people.
Yes.
Right place for me, but the wrong time for you. If you're not doing well or you're doing something that you shouldn't be, somehow I come walking around the corner. And David, yes, that is my superpower. David will say, yes, that's Danny. That's Danny. So our cousin Paul had a party.
Yes.
And it was a very butch, masculine, like
Fun party. Got a little outrageous at the end, Paul. I do apologize. I had to leave.
oh my God. And then our cousin Art was there
Yes.
and his husband, and that's the no carb queens. They're my favorite.
That's actually a good title.
No carb queens. We should make them hats. Desiree, that's it. Desiree needs to make Art and Zach hats that say no carb queens. Of course, obviously, they're going to be like, how dare you say that? But I always tease them. And it's just fun. Because, you know,
yeah.
I mean, listen, steroids, no carbs, whatever. So,
It's all the same.
all the same. All the same.
I know I make him eat carbs every time I come down to San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah.
For
we'll get-
him, that's his carb cheat. I know he's like, when the cousin Louie comes, I eat like shit.
And that's a preview because we're going back to Comic-Con this year
Yes.
for 2025.
Mhm.
We just had to go on a vacation. We needed a little time off. It's been so hard with these past 3 episodes.
Cheers to that. Angelo makes it tough.
Poor Angelo.
I know, huh?
I just like it when he's here, though, because then we can make fun of him to his face.
Yeah.
I don't like talking behind people's
No,
backs.
not at all.
But if I had to say something about him, no, I'm just kidding. So I kind of have to bring it down even more.
Oh, yeah, we're going to bring it down.
So my cousin Paul has this. Oh, that's loud. My cousin Paul has this basketball tournament every single year. And what he does is he invites all the cousins, and then, and that's on both sides of the family. He invites all of his cousins, family members. Everyone's invited. And even if you don't get an invite, you're still invited anyways. It doesn't make a difference as long as you show up with a good attitude and you want to play basketball.
Yeah.
Well, I don't play basketball.
And you sat inside most of the time.
Well, because I just want to go support. I want to support. And also, too, like, what was I going to sit out there? Like, I needed a microphone because I wanted to talk shit because, like, there were a couple people that were pushing and the guy's shirt got ripped. And I was like, when the guy's shirt got ripped, I said, oh, my God, I didn't know this was Chippendale. But, like, nobody could hear me because it was so windy and I needed a microphone.
Usually you like to mingle is what I'm saying. Like, usually, like mosey here. You go to different groups and you're like, oh, hey, how you doing? Yeah. This was the first time you were like, I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to plant and I'm going to have a good time.
I did. I didn't feel the need. I didn't want to give that much energy out because, like, I'm realizing now in my old age of 54. You heard it here first. And I just invert those. I'm actually 45. No, I'm just kidding. And so I made the choice to to conserve my energy. I had a lot going on that week. And it's not that I didn't want to, like, be out there and be Devo and be crazy, but they didn't need me to.
No.
I didn't have to nominate myself to go out there and make people laugh. Yeah. Nobody wanted that. They were there to play basketball, and that's like I said, I went out there to support. I made Rice Krispies, which are always a hit. Everyone loves my Rice Krispies.
Always. I had to steal like 4 or 5 of them.
And so I made those because I wanted to contribute something, but the food was good. I mean, you barbecued.
I did.
You barbecued steak. You barbecued salmon. It was good. It was really good. Everything was really good. They had like a dessert table.
So whoever made that dessert table, I wanted to get a card because the cookies that you made were amazing. I actually didn't even get to try everything because by the time I went back, because I was cooking, everything was gone. And I got to ask my cousin because I would love to order some cookies for whatever party we have next. That's how good they were. I don't know. Did you have any?
I did. I had the chocolate chip, but I think they were like Vons.
Really? Oh, don't say that.
I don't think that they were homemade. They were too symmetrical. Like they were made out of a machine.
Oh, really?
You know, homemade have like bubbles and like they're different shapes and stuff.
Well, because when I was cooking, I wasn't sitting there watching them, but they brought all this stuff.
She did, but some things were store bought.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, some things were store bought. And I don't want to downplay it. That's probably what she did makeup, and they're like, "Fuck your cousin, fuck him. I made those cookies." I'm so sorry. You know who? No, Desiree, because I think it was Desiree's friend, and it was instead of having it was a charcuterie board, but it was like a charcuterie board. It was charcuterie and it was dessert combined. And then she made a little stand for my Rice Krispies. So I can't. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying.
We just joke here. We mess around.
We're kidding. But yeah, so we were there at my cousin Paul's. It was really fun. I had a good time. It was very windy. But then at some point, I'm like, okay, I got to go home because I actually was going to work that night. And then I was like, I gotta go. But I've just been busy. It's just like one thing after another again. And then planning this trip out here to Italy. It's just been very, very, very.
We're only here for the night. We're going home tomorrow.
Very busy. Could you imagine? What a waste. What a waste of a.
We only came here to get the night sky.
And the wine. What a waste.
That we imported from California.
Oh my God, that would be so funny. What a waste of a first class ticket.
Okay, let's go back. Come on. Let's go back.
Angela. So we were there at the party, and I actually didn't even say goodbye to everybody.
Yeah.
I said goodbye to a few people, and then I said I'm just gonna, not ghost out, but I was like I didn't want to like go like okay bye because then you're there another half hour, right? I'm like I just want to go home. I'm tired.
It's your signature move though.
Yeah, and is that my signature move? Do I ghost often?
You don't really. I wouldn't call it a ghost. You don't like goodbyes, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I guess in my mind I'm going to see you again, but how quickly my mind was changed on the way home. So for those of you that don't know, there's been like a lot of construction on some of the freeways in Southern California, one of them being the one that's in Lancaster.
Yeah. And
that particular road is a main vein into a lot of our family's homes. Well, there were a lot of freeways that were, there were a lot of roads leading to the freeway that were closed that night. So I had to take...
You're on Palmdale Boulevard.
Palmdale Boulevard. So I had just made a left onto Palmdale Boulevard, and I was driving down, and it's something I look in my rearview mirror often, but I was looking in my rearview mirror, and I saw behind me coming at a very fast rate of speed. Number one, he was so quick behind me that he had to have run the red light.
Yeah.
Number one. And number two, he didn't have any lights on except his parking lights.
Oh.
People have their, like when they're driving and they don't realize, like a lot of the newer cars
Yes.
will have just the parking lights or like the daytime running lights on, but they haven't turned the actual
full brights,
full lights on. So just those were on. And then I was like, he's right behind me. So I was like, do I slow down? What do I do? I was kind of concerned. And I was like, okay, it'll be fine, whatever. And I kind of tapped my brake a little bit to kind of like, so he would see at least that like, oh, there's a car in front of me as I'm Back to the Futuring down Palmdale Boulevard, right? And for those who don't know, so I can paint the picture. So this particular stretch of road, it's a main vein to Lake Elizabeth, which is a very dark, and I wouldn't say desolate road, but the cars that come back and forth, it's not a very heavily traveled road at night.
Yeah.
It was dark, it was night, and it's 4 lanes, 2 lanes, a median, and then another 2 lanes of traffic going back and forth. And so I was in the number 2 lane, and for those of you who don't know your DMV, that's the closest to the curb. I saw him in my rear view mirror. It's like a tongue tie twister. And here's the crazy part too: is Matt was on the phone with me. Oh, wow. I had just called Matt. We were talking, and I mentioned him. I go, wow, Matt, there's a guy coming so fast right now in my rear view mirror, and he's like, oh my God, Danny, be careful. Right? That's how Matt talks. And so I was like, oh my God. So we were just chatting. All of a sudden, the guy goes, he swerves around me, but then gets right back into the number 2 lane, and he goes on his way. So he was probably a good half a mile from me. And I thought to myself, I don't know, should I follow him? Like, this is not going to end well, right?
Like you had an instinct.
I just felt something, okay? And so truer words could not have been spoken. A few moments later down the road, probably a good mile, all of a sudden I see red brake lights, because he didn't have lights to begin with, right? I see red brake lights, and he went from the number 2 lane through all the way through the middle divider onto the other side of the road. And I was like, oh my God, like he swerved out of the way, but then he paused, like he hit his brakes, and it looked like he was in the middle of the road, the median, and then he kept going. So I was like, oh, he hit something. Like, oh my God, maybe he hit a dog. Maybe, who knows what he hit, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh my God. And so I follow him I put my car in sport mode, and let me tell you, that Mercedes, she still hits top speeds in less than 3 seconds. So I zoomed down the road myself, and as I passed where he hit something, there was a supermarket basket. There was one of those big Arrowhead 5-gallon water bottles. If you don't know what those look like, they're like the old school. They're those big ones, like when you go to a doctor's office or you go to a dentist's office and you want to get some water, that's what it dispenses out of. Yeah. And so it was in the gutter, and it was like blah, 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 like spilling its contents. And there was a guy and a girl on the side of the road, on the sidewalk, and they were like looking around, and they didn't seem like they were stressed, or they were kind of like surveying the situation.
Like what had happened.
Yeah, and so in my mind, I made up a story for myself, and I said, I bet you they were crossing with the supermarket basket, and that stupid jerk hit their groceries, right, and their water bottle, and that's why I'm going to go find him, because I wanted to be like a justice warrior. So then, of course, I sped by them, didn't even give them a second thought, and I went after to get the license plate of the person. So I followed him actually to a liquor store, and it worked out perfectly. So I pulled into the parking lot, and I didn't want to spook him because he was still sitting in his car when I pulled in behind him.
And he didn't notice?
Well, no.
You're lucky.
I'm very lucky, right? I didn't know. So I will say this, though. I happened to notice in that same parking lot, there were Uber and Lyft drivers. Huh. So I thought, okay, be smart. So I saw Nancy Drew. I pulled out my stickers, and I'm like, I'll just pretend like I'm putting them in the window.
Like I'm one of you.
And that was going to throw him off because he was looking at my car. And I was putting up my sticker, like I was going to drive. I wasn't going to drive. And so I was kind of stalling for time, and I was fixing it and taking forever. So he gets out of his car, and he was kind of at an angle, so I could see this. But when he got out of the car, I only got his silhouette, and he was a black male. You could tell he had like headphones on, and he had shorts, and he had like a long sleeve shirt with like a little hood. And then the way that he looked at the front of his car, his face was turned to me. Like I couldn't see his face. I only ever got his backside.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh my God. I was like trying to like, when I didn't want to get off the car because I didn't want to like, again, spook him. So I stayed in my car and I waited till he went inside. So he finally went inside after surveying his car. But the interesting part is he looked at his car and was like, oh, whatever. He kind of shrugged it off. Like, I don't know what that is, right? So I figured, oh, okay, no big deal. Well, I let him go inside. I immediately pulled up behind. I took pictures of the license plate. But then because the car was at an angle, there were 2 trees here. So I wasn't able to get a picture of the front.
Oh, the damage.
I wanted to get a picture of the damage, right? If there was any.
You couldn't get out to do that.
So what I did was I had to exit the parking lot, go into the main street, do a U-turn, and I had to park on the street. And then it gave me the perfect vantage point to be able to take a picture of the front of his car.
You did Nancy Drew the shit out of that.
So I did, right? I'm so crazy in the head, right? Like, it's too great. So I took a picture of the front of his car. This is the photo. So you're going to see the photo because I can show you that because there's no license plate in it. And as you can see, the bumper is obliterated. There are no headlights. The hood was dented, and the entire front windshield was shattered.
No, he drove that like that.
So I was like, what the hell did this guy hit, right? So I'm like, I got the information. I'm going to go back now to those people, right? So I got out of there because there was no point in me being there any longer.
Yeah.
I couldn't do anything at that point.
Yeah.
So I went back to the people, and at this point, I pulled up and she's screaming on the phone. I give her the license plate number and a description of the individual, and so that she could give that to the 911 operator.
Yeah.
And then the operator said to me, I could hear her on speakerphone. She goes, "Are you sure that's a license plate?" I go, "Absolutely, because I have a picture of the front of the car and there is damage."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Great." So whatever they do at that point, she pushed it in somewhere, and the cavalry was called.
Off it went.
So meanwhile, there was a gentleman behind her, a young kid, and I'm assuming that was her boyfriend.
Like her boyfriend or something.
And he just had his head in his hands, and he was shaking his head, going back and forth. And I was like, "Is everybody okay? Are you guys okay? Like, we're gonna get him." And he's like, "Oh my God." He's like, "Oh my God." And she's like, "Oh my God." And they just kept saying, "Oh my God." So I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah,
like,
it's just groceries, right?
Like, what's happening? And so as I'm about to like ask what's happening, what's going on, after I gave her the information, here he comes back. The individual, the suspect, comes back up the street, going back home. But it gets better.
Well, he returned to the scene of the crime.
No, he was on the other side of the road going home.
Oh.
He looked at us and he took off, right? And so he had no lights. He had his head out the window because he couldn't see out the windshield.
Like Ace Ventura?
He was driving like this.
Yeah.
And he was driving over 100 miles an hour.
Wow.
So I jumped in my car and I took off after him. I couldn't catch up with him. There was no way. And I said, you know what? It's not worth it. So I turned back around and I made my way back again. However, this time I was going slower. First time I was a bat out of hell, right?
Yeah.
As I drove slower, I noticed there were more things. There was a pair of shoes in the road.
Oh, no.
And I was like, well, that's kind of weird. There's shoes, and there's the supermarket basket, and there's the water, and the girl was still screaming, and they were screaming something, and I was like, what's happening?
Was it a dog?
Well, that's the thing. I didn't know. So I went up to the girl again, and I said, hey, is everything okay? Like, what's going on? And then the boy says, we can't find him. And I'm like, oh, my God, what are you talking about? What do you mean you can't find him?
So it was a dog.
Well, it gets better. And it's actually not better, but it gets sadder. So they said, we were crossing the street, and there was a third guy behind us. We don't know where he's at. He went flying over our heads. And I went, what?
So that's the shoe?
That's the shoes.
That wasn't one of the kids?
2 shoes.
Oh, wow.
The guy that was driving hit him so hard, the victim, that he went flying over their heads. So the street that we were on, it's a wall, and then there's like shrubbery and brush, and then the homes.
Yeah.
So there's this weird pocket space in there, but there's no homes on where we are because you have to be over on the other side of the wall, and that's the neighborhood. And the majority of them in the neighborhood are like cul-de-sacs. So you really can't see any houses, and you can't see backyards, you can't see anything. So I got my flashlight, and we were going back and forth, and I was looking for any type of a break in the fence, right?
Yeah.
Well, the girl took my flashlight as I was looking because I went back over to buy shoes. I couldn't see anything. I was trying to find like a trajectory path. Well, what she did was she went up. And so she follows the tree line, and then she comes down. And to explain this, it's the street, there's a chain link fence, and then over the chain link fence, there's like, trees, dead foliage, how do you say that? Foliage?
Foliage,
There's dead leaves, there's dead leaves. Thank you, Darnella. She loves foliage. Daniel. And at that moment, she says, I think that's him. And I said, well, don't look, right? Of course, I looked. But I've seen death before, so it wasn't. I'm not like I'm like this like expert.
This is your second body.
This is my second body.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Renee. Like second. 3 Emmys, 2 bodies. Thank you.
But that's not your body count.
That's right? Yeah.
Gotta lighten it up a little bit.
I'm not going to describe it, but it was obviously, it was gruesome. He got hit by a car. I prayed, and yes, I do pray, Angelo. I prayed that he went instantly.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that he went. I hope to God that he was not in pain because it took us a good 30 minutes to find him. Life-saving moments, right? In a critical condition.
Yeah.
And it was grave. And so when the officer jumped over from the cul-de-sac side, he sank into the shrubbery up to his waist. And he was like, oh, he didn't realize it was that deep. And so he tried to get to him, but he looked and took his flashlight, and we all knew him, like, he was expired. He was gone. And so I was like, oh, my God. And then the girl, like, she started freaking out. The guy was freaking out still. I didn't really freak out because I didn't experience it. I just kind of was gathering evidence, if you will, by getting the license plate, by doing all those different things.
It's also different for you. I mean, that was their friend.
Well, no, it wasn't. They didn't even know the guy.
Oh, they didn't know him?
So here's more of the story. So they were all walking across the street. And so as I explained before, some of those streets it's the desert.
Yeah, it's dark.
It's dark.
Yeah.
There's a few lights here in between. And so people will cross the street because it's not like, a major intersection at certain parts where people are going back and forth on the crosswalk. It's not like that. Yeah. There are stretches of road where there are no crosswalks. Yeah. And if you live in a neighborhood, you're used to just like, oh, whatever, I'm going to walk across the street. Not even thinking like these people are coming. And it was like 8:30 at night.
Yeah. Still fairly early.
It was super early. It had just gotten dark. And, you would have thought, okay, I'll be fine crossing the street. Who would have ever thought that's going to be the last time you ever cross the street? Yeah. So apparently, from what the girl explained to me, they were all crossing kind of at the same time. They had crossed first, the guy and the girl, and then the guy had a shopping cart. He was taking water home. Oh. She said he was on, this is what the part that she didn't understand. She swears he was on the curb. So I don't know if the basket was just going on the sidewalk, and when he hit the basket, that's what launched the kid. I don't know. I'll never know. Unfortunately, I really don't want to know. But I'm glad that we found him because at least that helps. And meanwhile, the paramedics had come, the fire department had come. They were so kind. The Palmdale police, if that's what they were so nice. I know that like right now, law enforcement gets this like bad rap, but let me tell you, those officers were kind. The paramedics were super nice, and the fire department, oh my God, the fire department guy came over and he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm fine. I'm like, I just got the license plate number. I wasn't here for it. And he goes, we're going to say a prayer for this man that he went on his way quickly. And I go, I agree. And he's like, and you know what? He goes, and just take it easy getting home tonight. And I was like, oh my God, like, don't curse me. Like, don't say that. Like, I have a long way to go home. I have to go to where I live, in the valley. And he said, just take it easy. He's like, you know what? He's like, you did a good deed tonight. You were able to get information. And I kind of like, I wasn't really listening. I just was kind of like looking at everything because then it was a crime scene.
Well, it's traumatic.
And it was just, I don't know. Then I started to shake.
Really?
Yeah, I started to shake a little bit. And I was like, I think I need some sugar or gum or something. I don't know. Like, I guess all the adrenaline kind of got to me.
Yeah.
Because you're chasing after somebody and then you see a dead body and you're like, oh, that's so crazy. Because it's like this poor person was just walking across the street. And
they were alive 30 minutes ago.
Correct.
Yeah.
He was alive moments ago. So I told the officer, I was like, I gotta go. I can't stay here. I'm really sorry. And I go, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I said, I can't be here anymore. And he was like, I get it. Because it was already like almost 11.
Yeah.
It was so late at that point, right? I left at like 8:30. Like my night just got really extended. And so, and the officer was okay. He goes, yeah, don't worry about it. He's like, I'll call you tomorrow. He's like, I'll get the rest of your information. I'll get your statement. And then we'll go from there. I said, great. So I went home. It took me a while to go to sleep. Of course, obviously, you thank your lucky stars that like,
yeah. Well, it could have been you.
Your family is safe,
Yeah.
right? It could have been me. Who knows? He could have rear-ended me. Like, your mind starts to play out all the different scenarios, and I just didn't want to go there, right? I didn't want to continue I didn't want to continue the story to make it worse and then lament over it, right?
Yeah.
So I just said, pray for the man. I prayed that he went quickly and great, fast, that he didn't know what happened. And somewhere in heaven, God is like, yo, bro, you forgot the water. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're good now.
You're good now. And so the next day, of course, I told all my family, and he was like, oh my God, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
And like I told you, and everyone's like, that's so crazy. Like, only you, D. Only you, right?
Yeah,
only you.
Always
me.
you, actually. Always you.
And David would attest to that and say, you were in the right place at the wrong time for somebody else, right? And so the officer called me, and we chatted on the phone for a little bit, and then I gave him like the rest of my statement, and then he said to me, he said, I just want to say thank you. He says, I want to say thank you because we would have never known.
Yeah.
He said there are hundreds and on a monthly basis of people that just get hit in the roads because it's a desert.
Mm-hmm.
People don't realize it. He goes, and they don't know who hit them. Because it's a desert, people just either ditch the car or they do whatever, right? So then I said to him, so what happened? And he goes, we caught him in that first hour. As soon as you gave us the information, the sheriff and the police officer went to his home. When he opened the door, he was in exactly what you described. He was in the same clothes. He goes, and he was so drunk.
What?
He was so drunk. He didn't know what he hit. Up until that very moment, he still had no idea. But he knew something bad had happened because he parked his car 3 blocks away.
Shit. So he did know.
He knew something, but there was no blood on his car. Like,
True,
there was no
but
nothing.
he knew enough to park his car.
Yeah.
3 blocks away.
He did, but he didn't know what he had hit. He didn't know. Yeah.
I don't know. That seems fishy already. If he had parked it in the front yard and been like, I didn't know I hit that, to me, that shows that somebody was drunk and didn't know.
Well, he also could have, think about it. Like, if you're super drunk and you hit something to that degree, his when you saw the photo, it's shattered. Yeah. Everything is shattered. If the person didn't make a sound, maybe he thought he hit a dog. Maybe he thought he hit the shopping cart. Like, I thought he hit the shopping cart with that kind of damage. Yeah. But then to take off and go back home. And so he says, and he won't be seeing the light of day for a very long time.
Wow,
He said, so 2 things. 1, you got the information. He goes, and number 2, he said, you gave closure to a family.
Yeah.
And I was all, I was like, oh, sad. I was so sad. I was like, oh my God, that's so sad.
Yeah.
That's so sad. That, and yeah. So, for all those people out there, just hold your family tighter.
Yep.
And never assume, because we assume that's probably the biggest assumption that we always make. Oh, I'm just going to run to the market. Oh, I'm just going to go grab this.
Something real easy.
I'm just super easy. And then you don't know. And that's so morbid probably to say that, but it happens. Yeah. And hopefully I'll be there to catch your killer. Right? So let me lighten up the mood. I didn't mean to bring it down, but I did want to share that story and how I did it like Danny on that particular day.
That was a different way of doing it like Danny.
Yeah, definitely a different way of.
We
doing
definitely
it
don't
like
really
Danny.
talk about that kind of stuff.
We don't, and that's real life, and that happened.
Yeah.
Oh God! But you know what else was real life? Gay night at Disneyland.
Which was fun, by the way. Cheers to that one. I had a good time.
That. We had a really good time. Oh, you know what? I have to do this. Oh my God. Gay night Disneyland. Rusical, my good friend Rue, our number one fan, George.
The number one, yeah.
Love it, George. Love George. Love George. Love George. Love, 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 love. I had so much fun.
Yeah.
And what was really nice was, okay, so last year we had like 85 different personalities come with us, right?
Too many.
And we had too many, and it was just too many to like manage, right? Because of course I nominated myself to be team leader. I nominated myself. In this instance, this year I didn't want to nominate myself. I wanted to go with Rue. I wanted to go with George and you, and then more people started getting added on to the group. I wasn't adding people, but Rue was. And then, Matt got involved with his boyfriend named Eric, and
everybody didn't want to be on camera.
Nobody wanted to be on camera. Like they were somebody.
No photos, please. That's what I heard.
No photos. No photos. Like, who the fuck are you? No offense. Sorry, Rue. But yeah, it's just... It was too much. And then Matt was like, "Oh, no photos. I'm like, "But you're at Disneyland. You're going to be in all of their archive footage. You're going to be everywhere. Plastered as gay night." And what you don't realize is when you purchase a ticket, you agree to your likeness being used on television. So they could have filmed something, and guess what? You're going to be on TV.
That, and you agree to them photoing your face and plugging it into their database. And I hope one day no police or government officials try to get into that database.
Oh, they probably will.
That's crazy.
Will. I'm sure Alonia Muscat will. I'm sure she'll figure it out. She'll figure something out.
But he's 86. He's not part of the government no more.
Oh, don't you worry. I'm sure she figured out some sort of little
something
Trojan horse to put in her. Was it Norton antivirus?
McAfee, bro.
So it was wonderful. I had so much fun. And you know what I really... So, luckily, going back to all of the different personalities that were being invited, luckily, because I am not trying to control things anymore. I'm trying.
It only took 54 years.
Oh, good Lord, that's true.
We did it.
I'm trying. I just said, you know what? Whatever's going to happen is whatever's going to happen. And then my friend Ruth said, well, what if this person wants to do this? And what if this person... I go, then you know what? We let them.
Yeah.
We let them.
Yeah.
Let them. We are going to stay together and we're going to have fun. I'm here with George. And I have to say, George, it was a blast to go back and forth with you because George is sassy.
George is super sassy.
Oh, George is so sassy. And it was so nice. What a breath of fresh air.
Do not let that man confuse you.
Oh, let me tell you. You're right?
Yep.
Yeah, I would have never guessed. Never guessed that out of George. But it was so much fun. And I had a lot of fun with him because, he was quick. We were going back and forth and we were throwing jokes. And you know what I like about... So here's what I loved about it is that George is like me. We're old school. We can say as much as we want to each other.
Oh, you can say some wild shit, yeah.
We said some wild shit to each other, okay? But you know what? At the end of the day, we're like, oh, God, I love you.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, I'm so offended. Oh, my God, I'm going to call.
Well, it's respect. You have respect for each other, so that's what it is.
Is that respect? Mm-hmm. I just think that's not woke. What is that?
It's a different form of respect. You could say anything off the cuff, and that person is not going to take it to such
personal.
a degree. Yeah,
and there's not enough of that. Yeah. I mean, I say things to Matt, and he takes everything personal. And it's like, bro, we were drinking. Like, honestly, you were drinking too. Why would you take that and then go and tell your boyfriend and blah, 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 and like sing like a canary?
Yeah.
Nobody asked for all that. Like, you went way too far. You got way too butthurt on it, and you really shouldn't get butthurt. And let me tell you, George and I said some things where you're oh my God, are you serious? And I'm like, no, we're not serious. But what I'm really sad to say is I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to you, George, because we were supposed to go to breakfast. And we did not go to breakfast. And so I kind of upset about that. But don't you worry, I may sneak up into your neighborhood sometime soon doing it like Danny.
And he's not local, huh?
No, he's
Yeah.
not local. He's not local.
We'd have
But-
to travel to see him.
Yeah, and I don't mind. I would love to because
Yeah.
it was fun. I had a blast.
Yeah.
I will speak for myself. I had a blast. I had so much fun, amongst other things. So every single year, something happens with Do It Like Danny in terms of him going to Disneyland, right?
Yes.
And gay night. And so the year, before did we see?
No, the first year you went on your own.
Was it? I went on my own. But wasn't my COVID romance there?
Did you go with him?
No. But I ran into him.
Oh,
I ran
you
into
did?
I ran into a lot of exes.
On that first
On that
first
first
time,
one.
huh?
Yeah,
No
but
wonder
we
you had a
weren't-
good time.
We weren't recording it. I ran into a lot of exes. I was trying to hide myself. God, I was like, that's a lot of people. I have a high body count. I don't know if I should say that. Maybe you should edit that out. Angelo's going to take it.
Just 8.
So, yeah. And then the year that you went, that first year, we
That
ran
first
into my first love.
Yes, and we
right?
had that on camera too.
Yes, it was on camera. And then this year, we ran into my COVID romance.
Which we also have on camera.
Which we also have on camera. And Lou will probably show you. And
Oh,
we
yeah.
walked right by him. And he saw me. He recognized me. But that was the one that ghosted me.
Yep.
And as you've heard me say before in my reels, I have said, honey, once they ghost you, I respect the dead. We don't talk about you. We don't say anything. But you're going to see his blurry face in Louis' reels of
Put his Instagram handle up.
no, because you know what?
Not.
He's living his own tortured life. Anyway, so
Here's to free Disney Plus still,
Yay,
right?
it's a free Disney Plus. Thank you, Disney Plus. But overall, the highs and the lows of the past few months have been amazing and wonderful. Yes, there's been some lows, and yes, there's been lots of highs, and probably some high highs, Angelo. But I'm very thankful. I'm so proud of what this has become, and I'm having so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm having a lot more fun this season than probably any of the other seasons, because I think that at this point I feel like, yes, we have to work on it. Yes, Dana. There's things we work on. But in terms of how the show is progressing forward, and I'm impressed.
That's
and
good.
I want to thank everybody that has been involved. And I want to thank everybody that watches.
Yeah.
You heard what I said, watch.
Watch.
Everyone that watches. You guys need to just tell everybody. You have to watch it because it's so much better watching it than listening to it, Dana. But with that being said, I know that the world has been in turmoil. I get it. I don't shop at Home Depot anymore because I'm scared myself, which sounds crazy.
Yeah.
But with all that's going on in the world, just hug your family members. Gosh, if you're, suffering from the illegals and what's going on, it's just insanity and it's crazy. That's why we had to get out of town. I had to get out of town.
Yeah.
I'm proud to be an American, but am I?
Not this American. not what it's turning into be, no.
We've been telling the Italians that we're from Canada because it makes it better. So nobody asks us any questions and we're not embarrassed. But with all that being said, listen, I hope that, you guys have a wonderful 4th of July because it's coming up. Be very safe, be careful, be mindful of the pets that have very sensitive ears.
And be mindful where you're at nowadays. It's not easy to just go anywhere because you don't know who's there and who's watching and who might, you just never know who's around.
Angela's calling on us, probably. They defected. Well, duh. So like I said, with all the highs and the lows, I hope that you've enjoyed doing it like Danny so far. Thank you for coming back to our little family here of insanity. Always putting the insanity in family. No, it's not there. I'm just saying dysfunctional. Putting the fun in dysfunctional.
Oh, yeah.
But thank you again. I know it's not our normal, crazy, loud, insane, but we don't want to pay the euros. So with that being said, please always remember, no matter if it's a high or if it's a low, to always do it like Danny.
Cheers.
Cheers.